Anyone who is familiar with the biker community has probably heard how great this community really is. But is it the same for all bikers? No, it isn't. It varies a little bit and changes a little bit. So today I'm going to go over what that respect looks like and how it portrays to what type of rider you are. Because it's not about the bike, it's about the rider itself. Unless you're riding this, that's not a bike. Sorry guys, nice try. It's not a bike, that's a car. But let's get into it. When it comes to our community, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what kind of bike you ride. It doesn't matter your skin color. Doesn't matter your political affiliation. Doesn't matter your religion, your life's choices, whether you eat meat or not. We don't care who you are. All we care about is your riding. So everybody who rides gets the basic level of respect. And the basic level of respect is, you get stuck on the side of the road, don't be surprised if a biker doesn't stop by and make sure you're okay or get you back out on the road. Or a biker just pulls up next to you in a red light and starts talking to you through his full face helmet, which looks more like yelling, to be honest, because anybody who wears full face helmet talking to someone else with a full face helmet knows you practically have to yell to be heard. You know where I'm going with that. But when it comes to that, you're going to get that basic level of respect. And everybody gets that from riding. But how does that change based off of the type of rider? Well, it's basically like a spectrum. So let's talk about the different type of riders. I'm not going to go over every single one of them, because if you're a typical cruiser rider and a typical sport bike rider, the respect is the same. So I'm not going to go over that. But if you want me to make a video about the different type of riders, who they are, what they do, that's not related to respect, hey, put a comment below, let me know. And also for my Suzuki riders out there, I expect some thumbs up. Who doesn't love a Suzuki motorcycle? I'm waiting for someone to challenge me. Okay, so the first type of rider I'm going to be talking about, new riders. Now, new riders, believe it or not, the level of respect you get is definitely higher than most others. And the reason for it is because you're fighting that fear. You've taken upon yourself to take on a risky hobby. You're trying to become a more experienced rider. Now, if you're a brand new rider, never ridden motorcycles before, and all of a sudden you're trying to ride a Goldwing, you're going to get stuff like this.
No! God, please, no! No!
But believe it or not, if you ride a little 500cc Honda Rebel, guess what? You're going to get this instead. It's not about the size of the bike. It's the fact you're riding and you're riding smart. So you're going to get a higher level of respect simply because of that reason. Next would be the garage queens or non-riders. Now, technically, experience-wise, these both kind of fall under the same category, but the level of respect is a little different. A garage queen is someone that has a bike that is pristine, it is clean, is mechanically perfect, but rarely ever sees the road. Garage queens are known for mechanical prowess. So these riders get a I'd say probably a slightly higher level of respect because they know how to work on their bikes. Granted, they're not on the road very much, but they do get more than the average. Non-riders, on the other hand, only get their average level of respect, the normal level of respect. Because here's the thing, they're not really bikers. These are guys that just have a bike that sits in their garage. They never work on it. It's not pristine. It's collecting dust. They like the idea of having a bike. You get the basic level when you're on the road, but outside of that, no, you don't get anything else. The next would be weekend warriors. Now, the weekend warriors guys actually go out on their bikes on the weekends. They'll take a few hour rides and they'll have some fun on the weekends. And that's great. That's awesome. At least they're out there riding. But these are the guys that the weather has to be perfect. No chance of rain, no high wind, not super hot, not super cold, and they can only go out for a few hours. Why do I say that? If you're brand new to riding and you don't really understand, you can't just jump on a bike that you've never ridden before and expect to ride for like 5 to 6 hours. Sorry, it's not possible. If you are a brand new rider, you have to train your body to handle riding. Your bum has to handle it, your back, your arms, your neck because of the helmet. You have to train your body for it. So weekend warriors, they don't ride enough to really be able to handle long distance riding. So these guys are riding and they're having fun with it, but they're not on the road a lot. Next are commuters. Now commuters are the ones that are riding more and more often. These are the guys commuting to work and back. But commuters are the ones riding all the time. Now granted, these guys are usually taking the shortest route. It's about point A to point B. They're not having a ton of fun. They might take their bike out on the weekends, but these are the guys that are actually putting some miles on their bike. So these guys are actually training their bodies. So if they decide to take a weekend and go 3-4 hours at a time, they can, because they're riding. And because they're on the road more, they get respect. Weather doesn't have to be perfect for these guys. It could be drizzly. It could be a little windy. It could be a little cold. It could be a little hot. Guess what? They're out there riding, and that's what matters. The next are adventure riders. Now, adventure riders are riders that actually go off-road, as well as be on the street. Having an adventure bike does not make you an adventure rider. If you just have an adventure bike but do a bunch of touring, you're not an adventure rider. Adventure riders have to have the skill of both on and off the street. So their level of respect is higher because they know how to handle a large, tall motorcycle on dirt, gravelly roads and be able to stay upright for the most part. These are also guys that have to learn to pick up their bikes up on a regular basis. They're usually the ones that are out camping. I mean, they're traveling. So they do get a higher level of respect simply because they're on the road now. Next are what I call old school riders. Now, old school riders are the ones that are riding like antiques. So old style bikes, pre-ABS, pre-computerized. I mean, these guys learn to handle the bikes that are 100% mechanical. Because having ABS is great, but as with everything that is mechanical, Murphy's Law, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. Personally, I believe I definitely fit under the classification of an old school rider because my bike is 100% mechanical. I'll say 99% because of the electric starter. I'll give you that. But old school riders learned how to handle the bikes the old-fashioned way and usually the hard way. Personally, starting out with a bike with ride modes and ABS and all this other stuff can be a hindrance and actually impede your skill level. Because if you learn how to handle a bike without ABS, guess what? If you have a bike with ABS and you've already learned and that ABS fails, you know how to handle it. No, I wouldn't suggest a carbureted bike to a new rider. Stick with fuel injection. But when it comes to ABS and all of them, that's me off my soapbox. But I ride this way, and I think it honestly makes me a better rider because of it. My next one isn't really sport bike riders as a whole, but a specific type of sport bike riders. What I'm talking about is not the sensible sport bike riders that are actually riding their bikes the way they're supposed to. These are what I would define as stunt riders. Now, these guys are the ones you see doing wheelies. They're the ones doing burnouts in the middle of the streets. These are the ones that are taking it out of the track and putting it in the streets. Now, there are sport bike stunt riders that stay on tracks. If you stay on a closed track, yeah, go for it. Have all the wheelies you want. But on the city street, don't do it. But the thing is the only people that gain respect for sport bike stunt riders on the street are other sport bike stunt riders on the street. They're the only ones that get respect. For us sensible riders, you get zero respect. And the reason you get zero respect is you give us all a bad name. Because everybody out there in a cage are the ones that call us rebels and hooligans and crazies and criminals. We're breaking the law. We're lane splitting when we're not supposed to be. We're all doing it. We're not that way. The thing is these guys, from sensible riders, the majority of us in the community, we give these guys zero respect. Not because of their lack of skill. No, these guys have a lot of skill. To be able to do wheelies and do all that stuff that they do, that takes a lot of skill. Good for you. But here's the thing, you're doing it on the street. They get zero respect, not because of their skill level, not because of their bike, but because of their behavior. If they're doing it in a closed track, they get huge props. Good for you, you can do all that stuff. And you're riding sensibly on the streets. But just know, the rest of us don't like them, because it makes us all look bad. And the last type of rider I'm going to be talking about are the long distance touring riders, or what we define as iron butts. These are the guys that are riding 8-9 hours at a time. They put more miles on their bike than they do their cars. And these guys do not put their bikes away for winter. They ride year round. They don't care if it's rainy. They don't care if it could be freezing temps. It could be 110. And they're usually riding big bikes. These guys are traveling and riding all the time. These guys get God level tier respect. People come to them for advice because they've got so much experience, so much knowledge, and they are usually some of the most skilled riders out there that people will pick their brains, including myself. Now, what have I seen? My years of experience. Yeah, I've had the basic level of respect, but over time I thought it was, especially as a new rider, that it was the bike that mattered. The engine had to be a certain size and had to look a certain way. And it wasn't until years later did I find out that that wasn't true. It wasn't about the bike. It was about me as a rider, my experience level, what I'm willing to learn, am I willing to admit mistakes. So as a female rider, one thing I can tell you is female riders get a little bit more of a bump than male riders, because riding is primarily male dominated. So male bikers are used to seeing other male bikers, and their girlfriends are usually riding on the back in the passenger. We have another name for that seat. I'm not going to say it here, but you want to comment below and put the name down, go for it. I'm not going to say it, but go for it. But as a female biker, you do get a little more respect than your average male rider, because now you're riding a bike. Now, if you are a small female rider and you're riding a big old bagger, oh yeah, you get God level pretty quick. You get God level tier respect pretty quick. You don't even have to be an iron butt for that to happen. You just have guys going, it's real funny. So, one thing about riding that I have learned over the years is that as I became a better rider and I focused on my riding skill and becoming better, I noticed the behavior of other bikers related to me went up. One thing I've heard is that if you're stuck on the side of the road, there's a biker to help you. Now, if you've ever seen my video about the Decker's Loop, which if you have it, I'm going to tag it at the end of this video. You need to go watch it. But while on that trip, I did stop to just take in the mountain air and to give myself a break. And I stopped on the side of the road. I was kind of laying down in the grass, just kind of enjoying it and everything else. And a big Harley guy came around the corner, and he looked at me and he said, I could tell what he was asking when he did this. He was riding in and he looked at me and he goes, "Are you okay?" He pointed at me and said, "Are you okay?" And I just I knew what he was asking for because I knew the community was known for this, but I never personally experienced it myself. And I thought that was so cool that an old biker definitely was doing that for me. And I said, no, I'm good. I was trying to tell him well because he was going through a turn pretty quick. And I was just, no, I'm good. Gave him a thumbs up. I'm good. So that he understood not to stop because I was fine. I was just taking a break. So he looked at me and he gave me a thumbs up back and continued on. So if I had said, no, I'm down, he would have stopped to help me. It's pretty cool, actually. So respect in the motorcycle community is not based off of your bike. It's not based off of your walk of life. It's based off of, one, are you riding in the first place? And two, what kind of rider you are. That's really what it determines. It's about you, not what's underneath you. If you have any stories of things that surprised you, comment below if you have had things that happened to you related to the community you didn't expect. Maybe it was many years ago when you were first riding, it shocked you about how inclusive this community really is. And yes, it is inclusive. It doesn't care who you are. All it matters is that, are you riding? That's really all that matters. So if you've had any experiences that shocked you, that you didn't expect, or you want to put your 2 cents in, please comment below. And I'll read them and I'll respond to you. I respond to every one of my comments. So outside of that, I know it's winter and many of us have already put our bikes away for storage. Whenever you can, or if you're riding right now, ride safe.